Did you know that many of the things we take for granted today, like math, writing, and even the way we think about the stars, have roots in a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago? We're talking about ancient Egypt, a land of mystery, power, and incredible innovation that literally shaped the ancient world. It wasn't just about pyramids and pharaohs. It was a beacon of knowledge that illuminated the path for cultures far and wide, including the ancient Greeks. But how did this legendary civilization begin? And what secrets does its history hold? Let's travel back in time to the land originally known as Kemet and uncover the profound legacy of ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptian tradition, particularly the emerald tablets of Thoth, speaks of a divine being, Thoth the Atlantean, who founded their earliest civilization. He's credited with designing the Great Pyramids and establishing the spiritual teachings of the Halls of Amenti. Officially, the recorded history of Egypt's first dynasty of pharaohs begins around 3200 BC. This era was a golden age of peace. Imagine a kingdom where war was unknown for centuries, where agriculture flourished and bustling trade routes connected them with peoples to the east and west. For about 700 years, this tranquility allowed Egyptian culture to blossom. They constructed not just pyramids, but a multitude of awe-inspiring structures that still defy explanation today. This was a civilization at the height of its creative power, building a legacy in stone and spirit. But what did these incredible builders and thinkers look like? This question has been debated for years, but scientific and historical evidence offers compelling answers. A UNESCO-led scientific committee, tasked with drafting a general history of Africa, concluded they were of Negroid descent. Anthropological studies of skeletons and mummies revealed high concentrations of melanin, similar to that found in modern peoples of African descent. Professor Cheikh Anta Diop, a prominent scholar, highlighted that many ancient Greek and Latin writers, including the famous historian Herodotus, as well as Aristotle and Strabo, described the Egyptians in terms that related them to black Africans. Professor Diop confidently stated that the first inhabitants of the Nile Valley belonged to the black race. This understanding reframes our perception of this ancient powerhouse, connecting its incredible achievements directly to the heritage of the African continent. For centuries, Egypt knew peace. They traded with nations across Africa, Asia, Europe, and even, some theories suggest, the Americas. The concept of organized warfare was foreign to them. This changed dramatically with the arrival of invaders. The first major disruptions came from groups known as the Sea Peoples from the Mediterranean, who were likely mountain-dwelling tribes from Asia. Later, the famous invasion by Alexander the Great would forever alter the course of Egyptian history. But before these conflicts, Egypt reached unparalleled heights, especially during the illustrious 18th dynasty. This period saw the rise of one of history's greatest leaders, Pharaoh Thutmose III. He wasn't just a pharaoh, he was a brilliant warrior, a masterful statesman and a gifted administrator whose influence was felt across the ancient East. Under his rule, the city of Thebes became the ancient world's ultimate tourist destination. Its fame spread far and wide, drawing visitors from every known corner of the globe. They came to witness its legendary beauty and immense treasures. The pharaoh was revered, almost worshipped by these visitors, who showered him with gifts in gratitude for creating such a magnificent civilization. What made Thebes so spectacular? It was a city of gold. Gold was everywhere. It wasn't just for jewelry. It was woven into the very fabric of the city. Monuments gleamed with it. The temple doors were breathtaking works of art, intricately decorated with a blend of gold, copper, and silver. Visitors were left speechless, unable to decide which temple was the most beautiful. The people of Thebes lived in constant celebration. They were known for their jubilant parties, where beer flowed freely. It was a city alive with energy, wealth, and a deep sense of cultural pride. Within this same powerful 18th dynasty, a revolutionary king and queen took the throne, Akhenaten and the iconic Nefertiti. Akhenaten was unlike any pharaoh before him. He looked at Egypt's rich tradition of worshipping many gods and decided it was time for a radical change. He believed everyone in Egypt should worship only one deity, the sun, represented as the Aten. While solar worship had always been important, Akhenaten's vision was absolute monotheism. He wanted to cast aside the entire pantheon of gods his ancestors had honored for millennia. The powerful priesthood, keepers of tradition, couldn't accept this. This ideological clash forced Akhenaten to leave the golden city of Thebes. He established a new capital, Tel El Amarna, and for about 10 years he championed his monotheistic revolution. But when he died, his vision died with him. His followers couldn't sustain the movement against the priest's opposition. His death was followed by a period of civil unrest and corruption, marking a turbulent end to the 18th dynasty until a general named Horemheb restored order. After the Amarna period, new powerful pharaohs like Seti I and the famous Ramesses II rose to power. They aimed to restore Egypt to the glory of Thutmose III's era, launching massive building projects and military campaigns. However, the shadow of invasion loomed large. The eventual fall of ancient Egypt's native rule was a slow process, driven by external forces. Indo-European and Asian tribes, the same sea peoples from the mountains of Asia, mounted huge invasions. These groups may have been influenced by the rising Assyrian Empire, which was eager to expand its own power. Pharaoh Ramesses III fought desperately against these invaders on both land and sea. The epic story of this war is carved into the stone walls of the Medinet Habu temple at Thebes. Centuries later, another major blow came when Alexander the Great and his Macedonian army swept across North Africa. After conquering Egypt, he founded the city of Alexandria, which became a hub of Greek culture for nearly 900 years, until the Arab conquest reshaped the region once more. Beyond the pharaohs and pyramids, the spiritual heart of Egypt was its complex belief system and the concept of Ma'at. Ma'at was more than a goddess. She was the personification of truth, balance, order, and cosmic justice. This principle was deeply connected to the divine feminine, a powerful force they observed in the universe. In the natural world, they saw the female as possessing a potent, aggressive energy. Think of the female bee, quicker to sting than the male, or the female mosquito, whose aggressive hunt for blood is essential for reproduction. Look at the black widow spider who consumes her male partner, or the lioness on the savannah, who is the primary hunter for her pride. The lion, the king, often conserves his energy, intervening only for the most challenging hunts, like taking down a massive buffalo. This recognition of powerful female energy wasn't just in nature, it was reflected in their society. This respect for the divine feminine and female power manifested in the real world, with numerous powerful female rulers across Africa, the African Queen Europa, for whom a continent is named, the formidable Ethiopian Queen Gudit, a Jewish leader who so fiercely defended her indigenous culture that she overthrew the Christian Aksumite kingdom, earning the fearsome title, the Kingslayer. And then there was Queen Amanirenas of the Kushite Empire. A true warrior queen, she led an army of 30,000 soldiers against the invading Roman army in Egypt and won. It's said she lost an eye in the battle, but never her courage. This victory occurred between 25 and 21 BC and resulted in the Romans being enslaved as prisoners of war. She retook several major cities. In the Nubian kingdom of Kush, female rulers, known as the Kandakes, were not an exception. They were the norm. These queens and queen mothers held the highest positions of power, embodying the principle of Ma'at, the cosmic order shepherded by the sun god Ra. Together, Ra and Ma'at represented universal law and divine government, a philosophy that guided one of the world's most enduring and influential civilizations. From their foundational myths to their final battles, the story of ancient Egypt is a testament to human ingenuity, spiritual depth, and cultural resilience. Their contributions in mathematics, astronomy, architecture, and philosophy didn't just disappear. They were absorbed and adapted by the Greeks, the Romans, and countless others, becoming part of the bedrock of our modern world. The legacy of Kemet is a powerful reminder that history is complex, interconnected, and full of surprising truths. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this exploration of ancient Egypt, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Let us know in the comments what part of Egyptian history fascinates you the most. See you next time.